You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, here in studio Scottsdale, AZ, with the Emperor of Excellence. What's up, buddy?
Good, brother. How are
Oh,
you?
Randy Engston. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I have no name anymore.
just the nicknames.
Dude, there's so many of them. Almost 100 of them. How about it?
Almost, yeah. It was episode 994.
About 94 today, yeah.
Man, yeah, twice a week for just under a year, because we launched with 12 right out the gate, and then we did two a week. We've only missed 1 week ever.
Yeah. And we didn't miss it. It was just the preparation. That was my fault.
Yeah.
I'll own it. It pissed me off so bad. We were so ahead, too.
Yeah, we were good. So for those of you doing podcasts, make sure you get your episodes in so you can get published.
We were so far ahead, I overlooked the fact that our audio guys didn't realize that I didn't get them the information they needed to do their job.
So we apologize for missing the 1 week. Hopefully we're caught up now. We've got plenty in the storage tank, and we're rocking. We've got our, I'm not sure when this episode comes out, but we've got our automation workshop next week, completely sold out. Good group of guys and girls coming out from all over. I mean, Canada, they're coming out, all over the U.S., obviously. And we have our Iron Circle event the day before. So those Iron Circle members are going to be in the workshop as well to get that double dose of learning and knowledge. Big stuff.
It's going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of the people that are coming out they're really stoked for this.
So
I'm like constantly they're already in the weeds. They're already, using Keep and getting things set up and trying to get familiar with it. So
there's going to be so many little tops of heads blowing off during this event. It's going to be so crazy. I really think this is going to be the best of what we've ever done as far as done for you, complete, like turnkey. You've got the thing in 2 days, rocking.
It goes both ways. I mean, it doesn't go both ways, but like I find it funny because a lot of the individuals I'm talking with that are in the weeds, playing with the software, getting in there and stuff like that, they're like, are we gonna have like breakout sessions? Are we gonna be able to do custom build outs for different things and stuff like that? I was like, you guys have no idea what you're walking into.
There's a lot of work to do.
We are doing, yes, exactly. I mean, they're thinking a couple email sequences and things like that. I mean, we're about to, like you said, blow minds.
Yeah, which is surprising that they would make the purchase without knowing what it is, but they just know that they want it.
Well, automation works, and they're seeing the results. Others are seeing the results, and they want to share that effect.
So very, very excited about that. Obviously, if you haven't got the book yet, timlyonsbook.com, that's there, as well as give us a hand and give us a rating, a review. Share this podcast episode or this whole podcast with anybody that you think could get some benefit out of it. Our mission's to help gym owners win, and we just launched our $100,000 scholarship program. What's the URL on that?
pfmarketingsolutions.com/scholarship.
Oh, that's right, /scholarship. Just launched that last night. I already have about 17 applications came in. For those of you who don't know, go check out that website. But we've decided, we've got to, help more gym owners, and to do that, we've created a scholarship program. And I really think if you want to win this year, I think you should take a look at that. We're definitely helping a lot of gyms out, and we're going to start making calls as early as Monday next week.
Yeah, I mean that is a great kind of pivoting point to what we're going to talk about today. Growth obviously being the thread of this podcast and everything that we bring to the table. So today we've got an episode on growth, on investing in your growth, and let's get to it.
So let me take everybody back a little quick story. I actually made a post about this yesterday, and it blew up. Like both sides of this blew up, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I think this would be a good topic. Just kind of take you back. Probably this was about six years ago. In the old space, we had our coaching team, and we were really focused on bringing in like these highly educated coaches and highly certified coaches, and these guys that are really into the biomechanics and physiology of the human movement pattern, like the whole thing. They were over the top. Like some of them were like actual professors in college, and they would come train to subsidize their low professor salary over there. But this individual coach came in one day, and he sits down, and we had a meeting, I think, and it was like hey, I just finished getting my master's degree. Now that I have that master's degree, I think we can use that to our advantage and get some more clients in the door. And for me getting that master's degree, I need a raise. And I kind of was confused a little bit. I was like, you want a raise because you got a master's degree? Interesting. Okay. I put it down like this: the master's degree, which is awesome. And by the way, I have a degree. It's not a master's, and I don't look down on education at all. I think it's awesome. I'm not certain that the cost of education today, when it was like when I went through school, seems to be a lot higher.
Sure.
And maybe it's not the right avenue for everybody. For me, it was great. Obviously, I got my, scholarship and stuff all paid for. I didn't have to go through the whole like paying for the school thing. But this gentleman did, and he thought that he was owed more money because he had the master's degree. And I said, no, I'm sorry, sir. You do not get more money just because you got a master's degree. I think it's awesome. But your performance hasn't changed. You're no smarter than you were yesterday when you came in without a master's degree to today. You have a piece of paper that says that you went through this thing, and I get it, but you're not bringing the business any more value. And for that, no, sir, you do not get a raise, but we can talk about a performance-based raise here in the future. And that he didn't like that answer. And I can understand why, because
Sure.
he came in and he's like, I'm more valuable now that I have this degree than I was before I had the degree. And I had to politely let him know that our clients aren't looking for certifications and master's degrees with our coaches. They want somebody that is going to give them a great workout, care about them, pick them up when they're down, and make sure they don't get hurt. Master's degree or not, that has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really, and you said it a bunch of times in past episodes, where somebody comes in and sits down with you and they want to know all the certifications of all the coaches. That never happens.
It never happens, yeah.
And that kind of leads us into the whole point of like, well, should you even get a master's degree, or should you even go get that certification, or should you go, to these continuing education things? And it really depends. Like,
Sure.
in my opinion, the kettlebell certs and the TRX certs and the battle rope certs are a waste of time and money.
Yep.
You're more confident in your role, but let's be honest, towards the business bottom line, it's actually an expense.
To me, it comes back to comfort. There's a lot of areas we've talked about on episodes, like where you should invest, to grow your business, equipment. How do you bring in a profit center? Like, we've gone through these things. I think comfort for the trainer in the position is a big part. I mean, everybody stepping in and feeling equipped to do their job is one thing. At the end of the day, is the lessons that you're learning and the things that you've invested in for that education, is that going to move the needle of the business forward? Probably not.
Probably not.
But at the end of the day, if that's what you need for confidence, to have your own kind of, checkbox for yourself,
Yeah.
then so be it. That, it's kind of just an unnecessary, or like internal struggle dilemma, but don't expect it to be something that's going to make you more money. Just like that piece of equipment is not going to bring in more people. People
Sure.
aren't going to flock to your facility because
Sure.
you've got the latest and greatest,
Treadmill or something.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the truth of
And I think
reality.
I think as we go along this kind of journey of business ownership for a decade now, maybe in the early game that was kind of the way I thought.
Well, I mean, let's
thought
look
about
at the
it.
industry, and let's look at society in general.
Okay.
Like everybody told us, I mean, I'm 30, I'll be 33 this year. Up until 5 years ago, you went to high school, you went to college, you got a career,
Got married.
you know what I mean. And then, but that was the process of work. We've now hit the tipping point, like you brought up, where college education is not paying the dividends to the individual paying for it.
Yeah.
It is not increasing your likelihood in the competitive field. It doesn't hold the value that it did years ago.
It doesn't.
But for somebody in the position that's that close to finishing or something like that, sure, I get the idea of why, but the expectation's a whole different ballgame. That has changed.
Well, I think the expectations change a little bit, but I think if you still go and look at the studies, the people that have degrees make more over a lifetime than those that don't.
Well, yeah, but to the same degree, and I'll play devil's advocate here, that doesn't mean anything in your organization. That tells
internally.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no. I think having a degree gets you a seat at the table for an interview. Maybe when you're applying for something, if you're working for somebody else, if there's two people that are equal and one has the degree and one doesn't, it's usually the person with the degree that's going to get the first look. But again, once they're in the company, the performance is going to keep them in or out, not the degree, right?
Sure.
So there's definite benefits to having a degree. I always look at a degree for somebody coming in as like an accomplishment that they stuck to something and they got the thing. Now, the even funnier part about it is if the majority of people that have degrees aren't working in a field that their degree was tied to, that's the funny part. Like, I got this education for marketing, but I'm, doing something else completely different.
I don't know the studies, but that's becoming more and more the norm.
Working in a field that degree
I think it's
doesn't tie to.
overwhelming.
I could see that
percentage of it.
if you ask around, right?
Oh yeah, there was somebody did that study recently, and I wish we had that because it was from what I remember, like 75%. It was astronomical.
Yeah, it makes sense though. So that because think about the time like when you're young, getting a degree, you don't really know what you want. You haven't been in the world.
Use myself as an example. I mean, I told myself I am not going to invest in a future in something that I was 18 years old. I had no freaking clue what I wanted to do in the world.
And that might answer the 75% question. Is like they're over here thinking they want to do one thing, they get out in the real world, and it's like, well, the opportunities are over here. Let me go do that. Not saying degrees are not good. I mean, I think they're great, actually. I really respect degrees. I respect master's degrees and all the things that go with that. But to think that you're deserved or you're owed more money because of the degree than you were yesterday, that's where we were misaligned.
Yeah, and to the same degree, I haven't stopped educating myself the entire time.
Right.
I just didn't invest in a college education to get a degree and a piece of paper to sit down and an interview process and win over the next guy just because of a certificate.
Yeah.
Like, I've never valued an education from I'm yet to see somebody I know really excel. I mean, probably a handful of everybody I've known through school that stuck to the college career, college path, moved into a career in the same realm, and that college degree is paying off for. If I saw more of that, I'd have a different opinion.
Well,
but at the same time, that is not the norm. So for me, I have no problem in paying for education. I've had coaches. We've done courses. I mean, I've spent a lot of money personally, professionally, on both sides to continue the education, but it's always been specific to the area that's going to impact my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a general education, not a BA in business that puts you at the table with everybody else type of thing. So
I'll give a great example. Our front desk girl who's going to school for marketing is wanting to do more with the business, and she's she came to the table and was like, hey, I'm kind of good with what I'm doing up there. I have some spare time. Like, can I learn some other stuff? That's what I want to see happen, and she's doing that. So her degree's in marketing. She wants to do some marketing, so we started getting into marketing stuff. She doesn't know anything. It's not the degree didn't kind of train her to get the knowledge, but of course I'm going to teach her.
Sure.
And that's really what the thing is. You learn more in the first year in the real world than you do in 4 years of school, because that's applicable. I mean, it's like real life stuff. So let's go back to, like, should you spend money on education or not? And I think to your point, I think yes, but don't expect anything from it, right? You don't expect a return on your investment, if it's college or that certification. Sure. I think you should be certified as a coach. I don't think there's a rule on that, at least not in Arizona.
Yeah,
like, you
state
can
by state, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in Arizona, you can go train clients without a cert. I mean, it's really up to the gym.
It's literally the Wild West.
It's up to the gym. We require a nationally accredited certification.
And a lot of the brands out here have their own kind of system training that they plug people into. Sure.
Yeah, but here we want you to have that certification, and you have to get continuing education credits, and all that stuff goes with it here. I mean, that's not every gym out there, and I would challenge probably like an Orange Theory doesn't have that in their rule book or employee manuals or anything. But should you go invest in that, or should you start looking at ways to grow your business through just say business coaching or a marketing course or automation like we're talking about? To me, obviously, not just because that's what we sell, but I know that's the reason people are growing is because they're getting specific needs met. Yeah. Specific needs met.
And I was thinking about this before. I mean, continued education in the fitness realm, like
Mm-hmm.
as a trainer, once you reach that CS with distinction, then you move into, the master's levels, and what is your next step?
Scientist.
Exactly. It's
Scientist.
not being a better trainer. It's not being a more profitable trainer. It's not being in the fitness realm delivering something to your end client, period.
No, it's research.
It's an entirely different path. You're either a professor, you
Researcher.
start doing research, you start coming up with the studies,
Yep.
Which is great, but that's not going to make you more money
at the business.
Yeah. And that's the whole reason that we're here, guys. If you're like, it drives me nuts. I mean, talking about this, because a lot of it comes back to mindset for me.
Okay.
You started a business for the intention of creating a business. Why are you running it like a glorified hobby?
Okay.
If you're not serious about growing a business, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Go get a job.
Yeah. Go get a job.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but understand the risk versus reward. You've decided to take all the risk, but you're unwilling to do the work to support the growth that needs to happen in order for that risk to pay off in the end.
Yeah, so a lot of this comes down to one, risk, but two, money. Money seems like why people won't spend the money on their business, and I think it's because they don't believe in themselves.
I think that's got to be that's got to be the only true limiting factor. It has to be. Get out of your own damn way.
Yeah, they don't believe in themselves. Like, hey, I'm going to put this money out, but I don't really think I'm not going to be able to do the work. I don't trust myself to do the work.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, own it. Own it. Like, that's the thing, then work on that, because you're not going to grow. We always hear it takes money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be more true, right?
Yeah.
You either got to spend money on marketing to get more money. You got to spend money on education to then learn a thing that you get, more money from. But not the education that we're talking about with the training certifications. Yeah, you can train your clients better, but is it because you showed somebody how to do a better kettlebell swing that they're going to refer all their friends because of that?
Yeah, what do they do? Reach in their pocket and write you $1,000
Oh my
check because
gosh,
there's
that kettlebell swing was so amazing.
Never done one like that before.
It's tough, and I know we're being a little down on it, but it's just reality. It's like logic. Like to me, it's not logical to go get the trainer cert if it's not going to give you a return.
It's this is business. Return on investment is that is the basis for an investment.
Right.
Why? Like, if you're not seeing a return, stop spending your money on it.
Right.
If you're not willing to do the work, it's you in control. Like, do the work if you want the result.
But you have to be confident in yourself. And so I was just on the phone with a friend of ours doing an interview, and she was asking me, like, well, where did it come from? What was it? That entrepreneurial grit, she has a TV show that she interviews entrepreneurs, and they go into the grit side, not the normal stuff you hear about, but all the triumphs that you had to go through. And you've seen it, right? You saw back in the old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All the challenges that we had. And it it came back to confidence. And I've always said this, and I said, you know what, if I lost everything, right? Like, okay, this is gone, bankrupt. All right, I'm on my parents' couch. I feel wholeheartedly within 12 months I can be back to where I need to be.
Sure.
And that's only comes down to confidence in yourself. One, do you have the work ethic to do it? Are you going to work, 24/7 until you get what you want? Or, or you're not. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And so as gym owners, the risk when you open the business, that was your signing on the dotted line that you're willing to do the work. And not a lot of gym owners are there. Some are doing great. Obviously, you do everything it takes. And some are working hard but not smart. That's the other side of it. You're working hard on training clients and getting certifications, but you're not working hard on your business and things that move the needle.
And it's got to move the needle for your life. And something that I've been really focused on. I mean, for the last year, you know me, I'm fairly well disciplined. This last year has been a lot more lax than I've been in years past. And I don't want to say the resolution aspect, but just the conversation. And where I've been lately, I'm just extremely not satisfied with. So one of the things and one of the goals that I'm working on this year is even more mental fortitude, even more discipline, being more regimented. Because as I teach our clients, with a little bit of structure and discipline, it changes. Yeah, you get freedom. Yep. And I've fallen off a lot of my routines. I've slacked in certain ways.
And everybody does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've focused on other areas and other pillars, and that just took priority. But I'm realigning those. And a lot of it comes back to just the willingness to do what others aren't, period. That's what differentiates the winners versus the losers. It's not the information. It's not the fact, like 90% of what we want to know lives on Google. Like you could YouTube anything in the world nowadays.
Yeah.
Like it's not a lack of information. It's not a lack of, the paralysis by analysis. Yes, get out of your own damn way, do what it takes, and then you'll see the reward.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm pushing our clients a little bit harder on. Getting, hey, here's the roadmap. You've told me what you want. This is the path.
And then you hold them accountable to it.
And
that's what great coaching is. It's like, you've got the plan, and they've got the plan, and everybody's on the same page. But now do it. And if they don't do it, somebody's kicking them in the butt to do it, and then do it again.
And it's tough. I'm re-listening to David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, and reading it the first time was one thing, but you know how like when you go back to something, you take in just so much more information. So this time I changed the platform too. I'm listening to the audiobook, and it's different than just reading it because it's actually read by somebody else, but it's got him. They interject and they like interview him
Cool.
Along with the book, and so he breaks down some of these lessons and things that he's gone through. And if you're not familiar with David Goggins, I mean, he's a ultra marathon runner. He's gone through Buds 3+ times. He's
in Ranger School,
Delta.
He went through both.
Yeah, he went through. I'm pretty sure he's one of the few that's at 4.
He's the
only individuals who I think he's graduated 4. I think
that's nuts.
But but again, I mean, back to his own testimony, the only difference that he has versus everybody else that he's around is his willingness to suffer more than everybody else.
Yeah, that's
period.
the truth. Yeah.
And business is no different. Business is the willingness to grind your teeth, grit, hold on,
do the hard work,
exactly.
do the things that aren't exciting, right?
I've been working with one of our clients, and we've got this kind of joking. We've got a great relationship, but we have a very I don't want to say a cynical, like he has almost a cynical look to certain things, like just when a situation happens, he's just like, well, why does it go this way? Why can't it be easy, Steve?
Okay.
And so I told him, I go, my challenge for you is to embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Let's see how bad it can be.
Yeah,
because guess what?
You don't fight it.
It's going to happen anyways. It's happening to you. Your attitude is all you can control in the situation. So your willingness to push on and understand, I can't control the situation, but I can control the outcome by my output is all that he can be expected to do.
Yep.
And so my challenge right now, I mean, literally this week and into the next is expect it to suck. I mean, it does. It's business. Sometimes it's just not glorious, right?
Yep.
Like you get the phone calls you don't want to hear and things like that. That's okay. Control the controllables, execute your plan, take action, and reap the reward.
And I think as you go long, like the gym owners that are in their first 3 years, you don't have that tolerance for things that go wrong. So everything's a catastrophe.
Sure.
And then as you get into year 4, 5, 6, you know what? Those same things could happen, and you're a little bit more. You've been there, done that. You're not. It doesn't throw you off the game.
Entirely, sure.
10 years in, dude, nothing.
It's like having a kid. Like the difference between your first child and your second. Like there's a commercial going around that's hilarious right now.
With the washing of the hands.
Is it the mom? Like it's a mom. I don't know. Somebody shows up to like watch the kids.
Yeah.
And, babysit.
Sanitizer.
The first person shows up. Like the first kid, she's like baby's bubble wrap type of situation, right? Like it's fragile and. Then they're onto their second kid, and the girl shows up at the door, and she like tosses the kid to the babysitter. It's like darting out the door. And
then the third kid, she hands it to the oily mechanic while she's writing the check, and he's just standing there like confused, holding his kid. He's like,
business is kind of like that, right? You learn that once you've experienced something, you know your thresholds, you know your limits.
Yeah.
You've done it. You know how much further you can push, and it comes with reps. And so I like that idea. I mean, I like the breakdown that you've said. I mean,
first 3 years, it's like anything that goes wrong, it's the end of the world.
I can imagine.
It is, and I get it. You guys listen to the show that you're in your first 3 years. I know what you're going through because it's like.
Well, and we could talk about. I mean, even to that, we've worked with gym owners who are brand new in the business, where the business is their baby, and the things that they want to spend the money on are the areas that they're comfortable, and not necessarily the things that they need to change in order to move the needle.
Yes.
So it's I can't change my servicing because what if my clients won't do small group. Because
we hear that a lot.
They will only pay for one. They only want one-on-one attention.
Mm-hmm.
We know that's not true.
We know it.
We know it emphatically. Like we worked in how many gyms doing this over and over
transition.
and over.
Yeah.
And so again, just lessons that we know, that we've told, but that is something that gym owner just tells themselves. That's not feedback from the market.
That's why I think our coaching program's so valuable, even for the veterans, but for the newer gyms. If I had something like this growing, like when I came into the industry, even if it was expensive, I would have found a way, because I know, without a shadow of a doubt, I know personally that I can help and you can help any gym that comes to the table.
Yeah.
There isn't a thing that you're facing that I don't know how to figure out the answer to. I've either seen it myself or I have resources to get the answers for.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff, multiple locations, real estate, and all the games that but we have resources.
You have resources, exactly.
We
it's
have
not.
tax,
It's not a all out. It's I have to get you that information.
Yeah. But there's nothing that you're facing right now, gym owner that's listening. There's nothing that you're facing that can't be fixed.
No.
There's nothing.
The one thing that I hear a lot is cash flow. And in this you and I have had this conversation a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
You would not have this gym if you did not have loans.
I had loans, yeah.
If you did not be willing to go deeper into debt in order to move the needle forward,
and that's funny. So that's something that's not talked about that much. No, nobody talks about it.
The willingness for it is another thing. If you there is nothing that drives me crazier than an individual saying, this is what I desire. Yes, this is the path that makes the most sense for me. No, I'm unwilling to do that because of something like
cash
flow, or to ask for cash flow, or to research cash flow, or to take out a loan on go to a bank and move that. This is a problem solution. If that is the solution that is going to move the needle for you, then the next thing you need to do is find the solution to make that happen. That doesn't mean give up on it entirely. It means do whatever the hell it takes in order to make that happen.
Right, I'll go out on a limb and say, look around the businesses in your neighborhood, in your town, online. Every single one of them has debt, some level. They have debt on the building. They have debt on finance lines.
Yep.
They've got operational debt. They've got debt for equipment. Debt is not a negative thing in this. You need to invest.
We live in a society of debt. Our entire financial structure is designed to play a game. Debt is a game. Credit is a game. When you can leverage it, and when you learn that system, you can tap into more resources.
But if I know that I'm going to spend 10 grand, 15 grand, and I'm going to make 40, 50, 80, 150 grand, it's not even a risk.
It's not. It's an investment.
Thank you. Yeah.
But exactly. I mean, every investment is somewhat a risk.
So here's good news, guys. So over the past kind of, couple months, we've been researching finance companies for our clients.
Yes.
I've finally interviewed 2 that I really like as of actually today. We've got solutions for cash flow. Maybe it's cash flow for our programs, or maybe it's cash flow for our programs plus your business, because they do lines up to whatever, 150. And if you need 100 grand, you need 50 grand, you need 30 grand to invest into equipment, coaching. We have solutions now for as cheap as 0% interest for 18 months, 0%. You pay it off early, and then you have that line of credit that's available to you. Yeah, there's been plenty of times I've had to go to the bank in the early years and get money.
Yeah,
I had to, or I had to negotiate something, or I had to raise capital by doing paid in fulls and things like that to get through that slow summer in year 4. That was, we didn't know how bad it was going to be that year, or whatever it was. That's the stuff that you have to do.
Beautiful AC units or whatever it may
AC
be.
AC unit
right?
goes out and it's $4 grand.
Yeah,
$5 grand. Yeah, you got out here. You can't not have AC.
Yeah, so, you want to talk about a declining business?
Oh goodness. So something to think about, something to chew on. Risk versus reward. Risk as an investment. Like I said, every business out there has got some type of debt. There's very few free and clear businesses. I mean, there's some that you hear about online, these online coaches and things like that have no overhead, like you, Mr. and Mrs. Gym owner. You've got huge overhead. It costs us $48,000 to $55,000 a month in this base operating expenses.
Say that one more time for everybody listening.
$48,000 to $55,000 a month.
Just to
base operating
zero.
Expenses. Yeah.
That's just to enter the arena.
Yeah.
Listen to that, guys.
Yeah. So I get it. There's expenses in this game, but that's the risk in game. That's the game we're in. So might as well embrace the suck and
business.
There's huge rewards on the back end of this. I mean, I've got some massive plans. You know all about them. Coming up here in the next short 2 years is going to be a big change for us, and we'll keep you guys abreast of that. So early, I don't even want to talk about it right now, but yeah, that's going to be risky. And but the people I talk to about that, it's a massive risk to them.
Sure.
To me, it makes complete sense.
Well, not only that, but let's speak to without getting into detail of the plans.
Yep.
You sought out the group of individuals who had the answers to the things that you needed answered.
Yep.
Surrounded yourself with them, and now you have that solution.
Yeah, we have the opportunity.
You have because you sought it out.
Oh yeah.
That's guys, and understand this is entirely different than, I mean, it pretty much is an entirely different venture.
Totally.
Now, it works with this, but it is not by any means advancement of the fitness business.
Yeah.
It is an advancement in life. But
we're not closing the gym. Don't worry about that. If anybody's listening to, we're actually just doing some better things with it, and I'm excited. To me, that's my plan, right? I've weighed all the things out, and there's not many people that would just say, yeah, let's jump into that. But I see it. I can visualize the end goal already. Mm-hmm. It's totally there. So get ready. Gonna be a nice ride here pretty soon. Pretty soon. Okay, so we got off crazy topics. We started with the master's degree guy that wanted more money, and we were talking about how does that really move the needle in the business? Sure. And then we got into certifications, and then we got into what you should invest your money in, and then we got into where you're willing to put the work in, and are you willing to risk? All things to think about. Again, this is the conversations we have. That's the life we're in, and that's why we're teaching you and helping you on this podcast, because we want you to win. We want you to understand what the game you're in, the industry you're in. Take that and go win more.
Yeah, how about it?
All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. Bye.